Have you ever thought about what not to pass on to your children when you retire? It's a trickier decision than you might think. As we approach retirement, many of us focus on downsizing and decluttering. But what we choose to pass on can significantly impact our children's lives, and not always in a positive way. In today's video, we'll discuss 11 things you should never leave to your children when you retire. From sentimental heirlooms to outdated paperwork, I'll explain why some things are better kept to yourself. Stick with us to learn how to make thoughtful decisions about your legacy and avoid leaving unnecessary burdens on your family. 1. Family heirlooms. Family heirlooms are cherished by many elderly individuals. Whether it's an antique necklace, vintage clock, or piece of furniture passed down through generations, these items are more than just objects. They hold memories, stories, and deep emotional value. For seniors, heirlooms symbolize their connection to the past, loved ones, and family history. Letting go of something that has been part of their life for decades is often difficult, and there is a strong desire to preserve these treasures for future generations. However, what seniors may not realize is that these sentimental items may not hold the same significance for younger generations. Children or grandchildren might view them as outdated relics or unnecessary clutter that take up space. Without the same emotional attachment, they may not understand or appreciate the value these heirlooms carry. This disconnect can create problems when it's time to pass on these treasures. Instead of being cherished, they might end up sold, discarded, or forgotten. Children who don't share the emotional bond may not see the value and could view these items as burdensome. In the worst-case scenario, they might be sold at a yard sale or auction, far from the care of someone who truly values them. Additionally, there's the practical side of family heirlooms. Many items, like heavy china sets or older furniture, may no longer be practical for modern lifestyles. Younger families who prefer simpler, functional living may not have space or use for them. This can result in heirlooms being overlooked for their sentimental worth. Before passing on these family treasures, it's essential to discuss their emotional and historical value with your children. Rather than simply handing them over, take the time to share the stories and significance behind each item. This way, your legacy can be carried on through the memories and meaning tied to the objects, not just the objects themselves. 2. Your personal financial documents. When it comes to retirement, handling personal financial documents is one of the most important aspects to consider. These documents, such as bank statements, investment records, insurance policies, retirement plans, and personal debt information, are crucial to keep secure and private. Protecting this information is not just vital for your peace of mind, but also for safeguarding your family from potential risks like identity theft or fraud. If these documents aren't carefully managed, they could fall into the wrong hands, creating significant problems down the road. The primary reason for not passing on financial documents without careful planning is privacy. Your financial details are deeply personal and sensitive. Sharing them too soon or without proper safeguards could open the door to misuse. For instance, if a child or family member gains access to your banking information prematurely, they might inadvertently make decisions that harm your finances or their own. Even well-meaning family members may lack the knowledge of your financial strategies, leading to avoidable mistakes or confusion. Moreover, financial matters are complex and often require careful timing. For example, retirement plans, estate documents, and other critical decisions are best passed on at the right moment. Giving access to these documents too early may lead to poor choices due to a lack of experience. Financial documents also need regular updates as your situation changes. Maintaining an organized and secure system for these records ensures everything stays current for both you and your family. Instead of handing over documents immediately, consider establishing a trusted system for managing your financial affairs. Creating a clear will, designating a power of attorney, or involving a financial advisor can help make the transition smoother when you're no longer able to manage your finances. By involving professionals and ensuring your children understand confidentiality, you can ensure they step in at the right time without compromising your assets or security. Lastly, securing and organizing these documents is essential. Digital tools like encrypted files or secure cloud storage can keep your information private but accessible when needed. Physical storage options, such as safes or safety deposit boxes, are also effective for ensuring these crucial documents remain safe and accessible when the time comes for your children to take over your financial affairs. With a solid plan, your family can manage your finances responsibly when necessary. 3. Aging pets. As we age, many of us form deep, loving bonds with our pets, who become cherished companions, providing comfort and joy throughout the years. However, when it comes time for retirement, we may face the difficult reality of caring for aging pets that require more attention, medical care, and sometimes special accommodations. While it's natural to want to keep these loyal companions in our lives, passing on the responsibility for their care to our children may not be the best decision, especially if the pets are nearing the end of their lives. Caring for an elderly pet can be a significant responsibility. As pets age, they often experience health declines that require regular vet visits, medications, special diets, and sometimes physical therapy. This can be emotionally and financially draining, especially for those already managing their own retirement and health. While you may be fully prepared to care for your aging pet, it's important to consider whether your children are in a position to take on that responsibility when you can no longer do so. The reality is that your children might not have the time, energy, or resources to care for an aging pet. Many may already have families, careers, or health issues that make adding a pet to their responsibilities difficult. The stress of managing a pet's declining health, along with making tough decisions about their well-being, could burden your children in ways they might not be prepared for. Assuming they can step in without considering their own circumstances can be unfair. Moreover, elderly pets may have specific needs that require careful attention. Pets in their final years may struggle with mobility, incontinence, or cognitive decline, making their care even more demanding. It's not just about feeding or walking them, it's about providing comfort and quality of life during their final days. This kind of care demands patience and emotional resilience, which may be difficult for your children if they already have busy lives. Before considering passing on your pet to your children, evaluate whether they are truly equipped to handle the responsibility. If they are willing and able, have an open conversation about the care your pet requires. However, if it seems like a burden, consider alternatives such as finding a trusted pet care service or a family member more prepared to take on the role. Ultimately, the well-being of your pet should be your top priority, and it's essential to ensure they are in the best hands possible during their final years. 4. Unpaid debts or bills. One of the most crucial aspects of preparing for retirement is ensuring that all financial obligations are settled. Leaving behind unpaid debts or bills for your children to manage can create unnecessary stress and complications for them after you're gone. Unresolved financial obligations, such as credit card debt, medical bills, or outstanding loans, can have long-lasting consequences, not only affecting your financial legacy, but also your family's peace of mind. Your children may find themselves burdened with the responsibility of paying off these debts, potentially leading to financial hardship and family tension. The impact of leaving behind unpaid debts extends far beyond immediate financial strain. If debts aren't properly managed, they could negatively affect your children's credit scores or lead to legal complications. For example, if you have unpaid medical bills or personal loans, creditors may attempt to collect from your estate, and your children may have to deal with the fallout of trying to settle these debts. This can be emotionally draining and may cause friction between loved ones, especially if the debts are substantial or involve complicated legal matters. Before retiring, it's essential to thoroughly assess your financial situation and create a plan to eliminate any outstanding debts. Start by making a budget and evaluating how much you owe to different creditors. Whether it's small personal loans or larger debts like mortgages or car loans, committing to paying them off during your retirement years will give you peace of mind, knowing your children won't inherit your financial troubles. This proactive approach will also help preserve your retirement savings, allowing you to enjoy your golden years without the constant worry of mounting debt. Another effective strategy is to consider consolidating or refinancing loans to make them more manageable. If you have multiple debts with varying interest rates, consolidating them into one loan with a lower interest rate can make it easier to pay them off more quickly. Additionally, setting up automatic payments or working with a financial advisor can help ensure all bills are paid on time, reducing the risk of late fees or negative marks on your credit report. This approach will allow you to focus on enjoying your retirement without the burden of unpaid debts. Finally, it's important to regularly review your financial situation to ensure any debt obligations are settled before passing on your estate. If you're unable to fully pay off everything before retirement, having a clear plan in place, such as a life insurance policy or a trust, can help cover any remaining debts. This ensures your children won't be left with the responsibility of sorting through unresolved financial matters. By addressing your debts proactively and making arrangements to clear them, you're protecting your family from unnecessary stress and ensuring a smoother transition as you move into your retirement. 5. Broken appliances and furniture. When it comes time to downsize or pass items to your children, one category to be cautious about is broken appliances and worn-out furniture. While it's natural to want to leave behind a piece of your past, old, damaged possessions can be more of a burden than a gift. A broken refrigerator, outdated washing machine, or furniture that has seen better days might not hold the sentimental value you think it does. In fact, these items can become sources of frustration and stress for your children, who may feel obligated to fix or replace them. It's better to pass down functional, high-quality items that have longevity and will serve your children well for years to come. Old, worn-out furniture or malfunctioning appliances can take up valuable space in your children's homes, only to be discarded or replaced. Rather than leaving them with items that have limited use, consider whether the things you wish to pass on are truly practical. Functional appliances that still work efficiently, or durable furniture pieces that fit into modern living spaces, are far more valuable than broken items that require significant time and money to repair. Your children may not have the resources or desire to fix these items. If you pass down a refrigerator that's on its last leg, or a chair with a broken leg, your children may feel burdened with the responsibility of either repairing them or replacing them entirely. This can create unnecessary stress, especially if they are on a tight budget or don't have the time to invest in repairs. By passing on items that are still functional and in good condition, you're sparing them from dealing with these issues and offering possessions that will truly enhance their lives instead of adding to their problems. Leaving your children with meaningful, usable belongings ensures that they have items that serve a practical purpose in their homes. High-quality, durable items that can be used daily are far more valuable than things that just collect dust or take up space. This thoughtful approach also prevents unnecessary emotional or financial burdens, as your children won't feel guilty about discarding or replacing items that aren't up to par. Instead, they'll be able to cherish and use the things you pass on, knowing they were both useful and carefully chosen for their needs. Additionally, passing down functional items with longevity allows you to leave behind a legacy of quality and thoughtfulness, rather than simply getting rid of old stuff. Consider selecting items that reflect your taste, values, and the way you lived. These possessions can become meaningful heirlooms, passed down through generations, without the risk of being discarded or forgotten. It's a much more rewarding way to ensure your belongings continue to serve a purpose long after you're gone. 6. Roster. Your health problems. As we reach retirement age, it's natural to experience some health challenges. However, one of the most considerate things you can do for your children is to avoid burdening them with your personal health problems. Poor health can place significant emotional and physical strain on your children, especially if they are suddenly tasked with becoming your primary caregivers. While it's natural for children to want to help, expecting them to manage your healthcare needs can create a difficult dynamic and potentially lead to feelings of resentment or frustration. It's important to recognize that your children also have their own lives to lead, and adding health-related responsibilities may overwhelm them. Emotional toll of taking care of a parent with chronic illness or frequent medical issues can be substantial. For many children, the desire to care for their parents comes from love and respect, but it can quickly turn into an overwhelming responsibility. If your health issues require constant attention, medical appointments, or complicated treatments, your children may find themselves stretched thin balancing caregiving duties with their personal and professional lives. This added stress can negatively impact their own mental and emotional well-being, making it harder for them to be there for you in the way you may hope. Physically, the demands of caregiving can be exhausting, especially if your health problems limit your mobility or require frequent hands-on assistance. Tasks like helping with bathing, dressing, or managing medication can take a toll on your children's physical health as well. Over time, this can lead to burnout or health issues of their own, which only compounds the situation. By failing to plan for your healthcare needs ahead of time, you risk creating an unsustainable situation where your children are stretched beyond their limits and unable to provide the support you truly need. Encouraging proper self-care and planning for healthcare needs in retirement is essential. Instead of relying on your children to provide day-to-day care, consider planning ahead by setting up healthcare arrangements or long-term care insurance that can provide the support you need without burdening your family. This might include exploring options like in-home care, adult daycare services, or assisted living facilities that can step in when necessary. Taking the time to research and implement these resources will not only help you manage your health, but will also allow your children to continue to be part of your life without becoming overwhelmed by your needs. Ultimately, planning for your healthcare needs before they become urgent can make a huge difference in how your retirement years unfold. It allows your children to maintain their roles as your loved ones, rather than your caretakers. By creating a strategy for managing your healthcare in retirement, you ensure that your children won't be faced with difficult choices or overwhelming responsibilities at a time when they should be enjoying their own lives. Prioritizing your health and independence during retirement helps preserve both your well-being and the relationship with your children, giving them the space to be supportive in a healthy, sustainable way. 7. Cluttered or overstuffed storage. As we accumulate possessions over the years, it's easy for things to pile up in attics, basements, garages, and closets. However, leaving behind a cluttered or overstuffed storage area for your children to deal with can cause unnecessary stress and frustration. These spaces can quickly become overwhelming, filled with items that no longer hold value or have been forgotten about, making the process of sorting through them a daunting task. Your children may feel obligated to go through everything, trying to decide what to keep, donate, or toss, which can create emotional and physical stress as they work through decades of accumulated items. The emotional burden of dealing with a lifetime's worth of possessions in disorganized storage can be significant. Sorting through these belongings might trigger feelings of guilt, nostalgia, or even resentment, as they may feel pressured to hold on to things that you once cherished but that no longer have any practical use. This can lead to difficulty letting go of things, making the decluttering process feel even more overwhelming. The emotional weight of these decisions can create a strained relationship, as your children may struggle to balance their own needs with the desire to respect your legacy. Additionally, the physical burden of dealing with cluttered storage spaces can be draining. If items are crammed into boxes, bins, or closets in a disorganized manner, it may take hours or even days for your children to sort through everything. They might have to sift through old documents, broken furniture, or outdated electronics, all while trying to determine what to do with each item. This task could end up taking far more time and energy than either you or your children anticipated, leaving them feeling resentful and frustrated. One of the best ways to avoid this burden is to start simplifying and decluttering well before retirement. Take a proactive approach by regularly assessing the things you own and evaluating what you truly need or want to keep. If something doesn't have sentimental or practical value, it's often better to part with it sooner rather than later. Consider donating items that are still in good condition, or selling valuable possessions that no longer serve you. The process of simplifying your belongings not only reduces the physical burden on your children, but also helps you live a more organized and stress-free life as you approach retirement. By taking the time to declutter and organize your storage spaces, you're setting an example of thoughtful preparation for your children. This ensures they don't feel burdened by a disorganized, overwhelming task once you've passed. Instead of leaving them with a chaotic mess to sort through, your children will be able to honor your legacy in a much more peaceful and manageable way. The less clutter there is to handle, the more meaningful and focused the process of sorting through your belongings will be, leaving them with only the items that truly matter and have value. 8. Personal journals or diaries. Personal journals and diaries can hold years of private thoughts, reflections, and experiences that shape who we are. However, these deeply personal writings may be too intimate for your children to inherit. While your journals might be full of wisdom, memories, and emotions, they also contain aspects of your life that might be uncomfortable for your children to read. The private nature of these entries can reveal thoughts and feelings that may not align with the way your children view you, or might even create an uncomfortable sense of distance. In essence, passing down personal journals can sometimes place a burden on your children to navigate emotions and stories they may not be ready or willing to process. There's a real risk that your children may feel awkward or conflicted about what to do with your personal journals or diaries. They may worry about whether they should read them, or they might feel compelled to keep them out of respect despite finding them difficult or intrusive. The privacy of your thoughts could lead to feelings of confusion or discomfort, especially if your writings reveal secrets, struggles, or vulnerabilities you never shared with them. Instead of gifting them a set of journals that may feel like an invasion of privacy, it might be better to explore other ways of passing down your life lessons and wisdom. One way to ensure that your children inherit the most valuable parts of your life story, without burdening them with intimate details, is to share your lessons through conversations or recorded. Instead of writing down every private thought, consider documenting key moments and experiences that shaped your life in a more accessible and less personal way. Create a life story video or audio recording that shares the wisdom you've gained, the challenges you've faced, and the lessons you've learned, without the risk of exposing highly personal content. Additionally, you could consider writing a letter or creating a collection of essays that encapsulate your values, insights, and guidance for the future. This approach allows you to focus on the positive, actionable wisdom you want to pass down, while leaving out any content that might be too personal or painful for your children to read. By doing so, you create a legacy that's both accessible and meaningful, without putting your children in the uncomfortable position of deciding whether or not to read something too intimate. Ultimately, while personal journals and diaries serve as an important form of self-expression, they may not be the best way to pass down your life's wisdom to the next generation. Instead of leaving behind a collection of private thoughts, consider ways to share the lessons you've learned in a more open and approachable manner. This will not only help preserve your legacy, but also ensure that your children are able to engage with your experiences in a way that is both respectful and meaningful. 9. Negative memories. As we age, we often find ourselves reflecting on the past, including both joyful and painful moments. However, it's crucial to recognize that leaving behind old grudges, unresolved family issues, or painful memories can weigh heavily on your children. These unresolved emotions may linger long after you're gone and become a source of stress for your loved ones. If you harbor bitterness or unresolved conflicts, passing them down, whether through words, actions, or unspoken tensions, can place unnecessary emotional burdens on the next generation. Your children may feel compelled to fix these issues or carry the weight of your unresolved pain, even though they weren't part of those past conflicts. Holding on to grudges or negative memories can have a lasting impact, not just on your own mental and emotional health, but also on your relationships with your children and family members. These unresolved issues can create a toxic environment that affects the way your children relate to each other. The emotional baggage from the past may create tensions, misunderstandings, or divisions within the family, making it difficult for future generations to truly experience peace and harmony. What's more, your children may find themselves stuck in cycles of blame or regret, not knowing how to let go of old wounds that you've left unresolved. It's important to understand that emotional closure is essential, not only for your own well-being, but also for the well-being of your children and grandchildren. By making an effort to heal old wounds, forgive past hurts, and let go of negative memories, you can help break the cycle of emotional distress that may have plagued your family for years. When you hold on to resentment or allow negative memories to take center stage, you're inadvertently teaching your children that holding on to pain is a way of life. This can perpetuate a legacy of unresolved emotions that your children may find difficult to overcome, even after you're gone. Letting go of negative memories is not just about forgiving others, it's about creating peace within yourself. Emotional closure allows you to move forward with grace, leaving behind a legacy of wisdom and love, instead of lingering bitterness. When you release grudges, you free yourself from the emotional weight that can hold you back. This also paves the way for your children to experience healthier, more positive relationships with each other and with you. By resolving old issues and embracing forgiveness, you create an environment in which your children can thrive, without the shadow of the past affecting their futures. In the end, emotional closure and letting go of negative memories is one of the most loving things you can do for your children and future generations. It ensures that they aren't burdened with unresolved issues that might otherwise hold them back. By taking steps to heal and forgive, you offer a precious gift, the ability to move forward with hope, love, and peace. This is a legacy that will endure far longer than any material possession could ever do, and it will greatly benefit your children's emotional health long after you're gone. Blank_blank 10. Outdated or expired legal documents. Legal documents are essential to ensure that your wishes are carried out properly, especially after you pass. However, keeping these documents up to date is vital. Outdated or expired legal papers can create confusion, legal battles, or complications for your family members during an already challenging time. Wills, powers of attorney, and healthcare directives must reflect your current wishes, relationships, and financial situation. If your legal documents are not regularly updated, they may not accurately represent your desires, leaving your children or loved ones to deal with the consequences of unclear instructions. One of the most critical documents to keep current is your will. A will ensures that your assets are distributed according to your wishes, and it helps prevent potential disputes among family members. If you've made significant life changes, such as getting married, divorced, or having children, your will needs to be updated to reflect these new circumstances. Failing to do so can result in your assets being distributed in ways you never intended, causing confusion and even friction within your family. Regularly reviewing and revising your will is an essential part of ensuring a smooth transition for your loved ones. Additionally, there are other legal documents that should not be overlooked, such as your power of attorney and healthcare directives. A power of attorney designates someone to handle financial and legal matters if you become incapacitated. Without a current power of attorney, your children or other family members may struggle to make decisions on your behalf, leading to legal complications. Similarly, healthcare directives ensure that your medical wishes are respected if you're unable to communicate them yourself. These documents should be reviewed and updated periodically to ensure they reflect your current desires and circumstances. To avoid leaving your children with outdated or expired legal documents, it's important to organize all your important papers in a safe and easily accessible place. Keep your will, power of attorney, and healthcare directives in a secure location, but also make sure your family members know where they are. A trusted family member or legal advisor should be aware of the location and have access to these documents when needed. By ensuring everything is organized and up to date, you are preventing confusion and protecting your family from unnecessary stress. Finally, consider seeking professional advice from an attorney to ensure that your legal documents are valid and well prepared. An attorney can guide you through the process of updating your will, power of attorney, and other important documents, ensuring they comply with current laws and reflect your most recent wishes. By taking proactive steps to review and update your legal documents, you help create a seamless transition for your loved ones and ensure that your wishes are followed precisely, sparing your family from unnecessary burdens and complications. 11. Old clothing or jewelry with little value. Old clothing and jewelry often hold sentimental value, especially if they've been passed down through generations. However, when it comes to leaving a lasting legacy, these items might not hold much practical value for your children or grandchildren. While the nostalgia attached to an old piece of clothing or a vintage necklace can be comforting, these items can quickly lose their significance as they deteriorate or become outdated. Clothes may no longer fit, and jewelry might not hold any financial or emotional worth to future generations. Passing down such items may end up creating clutter, leaving your children with possessions they don't really need or appreciate. It's important to consider the difference between sentimental value and practical value when deciding what to pass on. While you may treasure an old jacket or a family heirloom ring, your children may not have the same emotional attachment to them. The cost of storing or maintaining these items could become burdensome over time. Instead of passing on items with little long-term value, it's more meaningful to focus on leaving your children things they can truly benefit from. For example, savings, investments, or even real estate can provide them with financial stability and opportunities for growth. Have you ever walked into your home and felt like something was off, but you couldn't quite figure out what?